Starting broadcast. It says we're live. Let me double check everything. But what's going on, everybody? What is going on? It's saying starting, retrieving your content. We've been live for 4 seconds. So, yeah, it's not doing what I wanted it to do. So that's crazy. What's up, Brandon? What's up, Erwin? What's up, Rob? What's up, David? What's up, everybody? So, yeah, it's not doing it on that one thing, which is what I'm curious about, like why it's not doing that. What's up, everybody? So I got to figure out this whole YouTube live streaming thing because it's kind of complicated. Travel plans to Charlotte made. Awesome, and I look forward to Friday even more now. I'm super excited about that, honestly. Call of Duty, no, not tonight, John Jacob. Not tonight. Please say hello to me. Brandon Jones, hello. Alright, let me, I'm going to do something because, you know, YouTube is odd. Let me go back here. It says live now, so that's interesting. Alright, so I'm headed to Basic in June, man. Super excited. Jeffrey, I'm excited for you guys. June, where are you headed? Hopefully it's not Bragg because it's going to be hot. It's going to be hot. Also, I hope you guys can't hear, like, air conditioner outside. For some reason, it's been, like, loud, and it's, like, outside my door. Brooke, how's your girlfriend? My girlfriend is doing good. I've gotten 2 letters from her now. She has been at basic training, Air Force basic training, for those of you who don't know, for about 3... How long has it been? It's not been 4 weeks yet. It's been about 3 weeks, but she's doing good. She is doing good. What's up, Erica? How you doing? But yeah, so getting letters from her is great. So I've sent her a few things. But the good thing about Air Force basic training is it's super freaking short. So today's May 6th, so I'm leaving. My flight to go to San Antonio, Texas to go see her for her graduation leaves June 6th. So literally a month from today, I'm heading down to Texas. Do you need to get an appointment to see a recruiter, or can you walk in and ask questions? Philosphos, you do not necessarily need an appointment to go and talk to a recruiter, but they do like it when you set up an appointment because they like to just have a set time and so they know that their schedule is cleared so that whenever you come in that you can actually talk to them. You can just walk in, but they don't necessarily like that because when you call ahead of time and you set up an appointment, they ask you a couple of questions just to kind of like pre-screen you, like, hey, have you ever been convicted of a felony before or anything like that? And if you say yes, then they'll be like, okay, you can't join. And so that kind of filters things out a little bit. But you can go just walk in and talk to a recruiter. But, you know, setting up an appointment is like super easy. You just call them and be like, hey, I'll be there tomorrow at, 4 o'clock or whatever. I'm joining the National Guard. Awesome. Dark Jedi. Oh, Indiana Jones. Should I join the Army or U.S. Marine Corps? Kind of depends on your opinion of, or your goals for what you want to do. If you want to join the Marines, a lot of times people that want to join the Marines want to be the really like hardcore guys. They want to be, in the grit of, fighting, and they want that closeness because the Marines is really small compared to the Army. So like they have like a really tight-knit group, or they have a lot of pride in being Marines. So that's something that kind of draws people to the Marines. But the Army, I don't think you can go wrong joining either or. After college, Allison Bisbee. After college, do you join the military online? I don't know what you mean. You mean like literally like online? Like, no. How good are my chances of joining the military if I'm not a legal citizen? Been wondering that for a little while. So you don't have to be necessarily a U.S. citizen to join the military. You will join the military, you'll go through basic training in AIT, and then you will become a citizen through that. But the whole process, girlfriend tag, please, when she gets back. Girlfriend tag. What do you mean girlfriend tag? I'm not sure. But the process of joining for a non-civilian, I don't know the exact process because that's not what I did. But you definitely can join if you are not currently a U.S. citizen. But by joining the military, that is how you can get your citizenship. So instead of, let's say you are you know, in some other country and you want to be a citizen, but you don't want to go through all of the trouble of just basically becoming a citizen, and that could take several years, you can just join the military, and then that will make you a citizen. You can just do your first contract. You will have done your part. People then, you know, in America, a lot of times people look at immigrants a little bit differently. But if you do join the military and you're like, I got my citizenship through doing the military, that's kind of like a good thing for you. So, 75th Ranger Regiment, way better than MARSOC. Yeah, that's definitely like a personal opinion type of thing. It's really hard to compare. A lot of people want to compare different, basically, special operation groups of the different branches, which one's better than the other. And you really can't do that because their jobs aren't necessarily the same, and it's not like we're fighting up against each other. Certain things have different gear, and you just have different missions, right? So it's kind of hard to compare, and the only people that can really compare are the people who've done both. So if you were in the 75th Ranger Regiment, if you were doing anything in the Marines, you only have that one perspective, and you probably came in contact with the other branches, but you don't know exactly what the training was like and whatnot. So I was watching The Office, but this is more important. Well, thank you, Amy. I really appreciate that. Who said I'm at the hotel? Who said I'm at the hotel? Somebody said, I think somebody said they're at the hotel somewhere. I'm at a hotel at mess with nothing to do. Alex, well, you're doing something now. Army, The Office beats everyone. How can I improve my pull-ups, Matt? That's a good question. Pull-ups are one of my favorite things to do. One of the reasons I like doing pull-ups so much is honestly, it's one of those things where like it measures your total your body strength pound per pound really well, and it's also something that not a lot of people can do. So if I can do 30 pull-ups, not many people can do honestly 10 pull-ups or even less than that. So I really like that. But if you want to improve your pull-ups, depending on where you're at, so let's say for example you're somebody who cannot do a pull-up at all and you're trying to improve, if you have the ability to go to a gym, using that one machine that assists you where you put your knees on it and it basically helps you do the pull-up, that is a good way to go. And then you can progressively make the weight lighter, which therefore makes it more difficult for you. And then you can also use bands, right? So those rubber bands, those really thick rubber bands, you can use those. And basically what you want to do to improve your pull-ups, if you can't do a pull-up yet, is do assisted pull-ups. The other thing that you can do is do negative pull-ups. So let's say you're going to do a pull-up. You basically, since you can't actually do a pull-up, you jump up, right? So you jump up to the upper position of a pull-up, and then you basically hold yourself / lower yourself down really slowly, and that will really help you out doing negative pull-ups. So that's really good. And yeah, that's pretty much how you can improve either way. If you can do at least 5 pull-ups, then one of the ways that you can get better at doing pull-ups is just by just doing a ton. Because if you can do 5, then you can knock out like sets of 4 and 5, and then you can do 50 a day, and then bring that up eventually to 100 a day. And by that point, you're probably able to do at least 10, and then it's really easy, or it's easier. Matt looking snazzy with that nice shirt. It's a Q&A. A lot of YouTubers do it. Oh, you mean like me and my girlfriend do a Q&A? Yeah, like we want to do that eventually, but it's really up to her. She I've told her if she wants to do it, just like maybe not like right now, but we'll definitely do some videos together. Matt, it's nice to see you in something other than a t-shirt. I mean, I do wear t-shirts a lot, and I don't really wear collared shirts all that much, but yeah. Our beard's okay in the Army. I like my goatee, and I hope I don't have to get rid of it. If you are active duty, you're gonna have to shave every day. If you're in the reserves, you can let a little bit go because you'll shave every now and then. For me, being a cadet, I at least have to shave every week. But if you're in the reserves, most people, or the guard, most people will kind of just, if they want a beard, they'll grow it out and then they'll shave before they actually put on the uniform. If you ever put on a uniform, you need to be clean shaven. Your haircut and everything has to be good to go. You're technically kind of supposed to be clean shaven at all times, But that, I mean, literally nobody, like sergeant majors, officers, like nobody really pays attention to that. Even if they're in the Guard Reserves, you're supposed to be looking like a soldier at all times, and a soldier does not have a beard, and their hair is always in regs. My hair is always in regs. Like, I get my hair cut every week and a half to 2 weeks, but I shave, I don't know, every couple of days or something. You gotta shave. Yeah. I will shave sometime. I don't have to put on my uniform for a little while, so. It's just a pain in the butt when you shave all the time, man. What do you need to physically train for to be in shape for joining the U.S. Marine Corps? I mean, similar things. Like, there's like certain things that are core exercises that you need to do. So you're going to be joining the Marines. The Marines, I believe, they have pull-ups as a part of their PT test. So you need to be doing pull-ups in addition to other things. So you want to be trying to build muscle. So if you have access to a gym and you can actually do weightlifting, that will help you build muscle, which will speed along the whole fitness process. But it's just really basic things. Like, you don't have to really overthink it, especially if you're not somebody like me. If you're not somebody like me who just freaking, I love going to the gym. Like, it is like the highlight of my day a lot of times, just going to the gym and having a great workout, leaving and everything. But if you're not like that, you don't overthink it. You know, get your running in, do fast runs, shorter fast runs, and do longer, slower runs. Do push-ups, do pull-ups, do core exercises. I highly suggest that you guys do planks. A lot of planks, a lot of front-leaning rest positions. So instead of doing a plank on your elbow, I really suggest that you guys do planks with your hands. So like if you're doing a push-up in the upper position of the push-up, the reason being is that's what you're going to be in a lot. Whether you're going Marines, Air Force, Army, Navy, or anything, you're going to be in the front-leaning rest position a lot. And so if you have been practicing that and you've been doing that a lot, it's going to help you out a lot, because a lot of people, the first week or so, or even later on, if you end up getting smoked for a long time, if you're in the front-leaning rest position for 30 freaking minutes, obviously you're not going to be physically capable of doing that, and so therefore you're basically, your abs and everything is going to be all torn up. So if you've been practicing doing planks, I really suggest that you guys do planks. I did a lot. I did planks every day for several months leading up to basic training, and I think that actually helped me out a lot. So aside from, you know, me doing running and doing push-ups and stuff, I think planks is definitely a top thing to do in order to prepare for basic training, no matter what branch you're going to, just because you're going to be in the front leaning rest position a lot. All right, let me scroll up here. I'm losing some of these comments. Asvab is pretty easy. PFC George T. Popic. Yeah, people ask me if the Asvab is hard. It really just, I mean, I think that's honestly, if you guys have asked me that, I think it's kind of like a weird question. It's like asking if somebody's smart or not. To me, it was easy. I got a 91. But, you know, if somebody's getting a 91 on the Asvab is going to look at the Asvab as a lot easier than somebody who, you know, gets a 22 and doesn't necessarily pass the Asvab. So, you know. Church shirt. Yeah, so, yeah, today, so we went to my old church that I went to whenever I was growing up. It was like the homecoming of it. My grandfather was the pastor of that church for 21 years. And if you guys don't know what homecoming is for a church, is every year a lot of churches do this. So every year there'll be like a set day or a set Sunday where they invite all of the old members, so people who have been at the church and moved or went to another church for whatever reason. They invite them all back to just have, you know, go to church with them, you know, again, and just have a good time and eat and stuff afterwards. So we did that, and I went to the church. It was really like nostalgic for me because I haven't been there in freaking years, and I basically grew up at this church for my younger years. I went to 3rd grade at this church. That there was a point in time when they had a private school at this church. So 3rd grade, I was going to this church, so it was kind of, you know. And I haven't been back in forever. And we got Ann with the super chat. I'm bringing a gift for your commissioning, something for you to keep with you forever, no refusing it. What? That makes me nervous that you just said no refusing it. I was like, Yeah, I read that. I'm like, yes, like that's freaking awesome. Like, I really, really appreciate that. And then you're like, no, refusing it. I'm like, what are you gonna give me? So, anyways, Matt, is one station unit training harder than basic? No, one station unit training is the same thing as basic, but then you just have your AIT at the same place, generally with the same instructors, the drill sergeants and stuff. But from, when I've talked to people who go to one station unit training versus me and other people who went to basic training, the basic training portion is the same. You're still going to go to basic training. You're going to graduate. It's just whenever you're one station unit training, you're going to stay there. When you're AIT, you're going to go to a different post. Because every base in the Army, they don't have every unit. They don't have every training command, right? So if you go to a basic training post and your MOS, your AIT or whatever is technically at that post, then it's going to be one station unit training rather than whatever else. Now, if you're talking about one station unit training for infantry, I had somebody ask me if infantry basic training was harder than another basic training, like a POG basic training. And obviously, I can't answer that for you, but it should be about the same. There might be a different standard held for infantry soldiers. I've heard that when you go to the range, if you're infantry versus if you were like me, myself, with a whole bunch of people who weren't infantry, then you're kind of held to a higher standard whenever it comes to the range, right? And if you don't get at least sharpshooter, then it's just like kind of looked at you like, what the heck are you doing? Like, can you not shoot or something? So certain things might be a little bit different, but for the most part, the basic training portion of one station unit training should be the same. The basic training portion of infantry should be the same, and the basic training portion of just normal basic training should be roughly the same, give or take variances with your drill sergeant stuff. What exactly is ROTC? ROTC is the Reserve Officer Training Command, I believe. It is literally, ROTC has been a thing since freaking, I don't know, 200 years. It's been around for a long time, and it's just been a thing that the government uses, we use in order to get our officers, in order to train up our officers. So enlisted soldiers, the training that you guys are going to get if you go enlisted is so different than the training that I've received as a cadet going through ROTC, because there's totally different missions. The mission of an enlisted soldier is totally different than the mission of an officer, right? Officers are supposed to lead, they're supposed to inspire the enlisted people to in order to accomplish the mission and do certain things. So the training is going to be totally different. But ROTC is just one of the paths, one of the major paths that the military uses. So the other things would be West Point. So West Point and military academies, West Point's kind of like the key thing. That's way different than, well, not way different, but it's way different than ROTC, honestly, because when you go to West Point, first of all, it's really hard to go to West Point, and then it's kind of like you're already in the military. So you're going to be pretty much, I believe, in your uniform every day. You're going to be doing PT, like every day. So it's a lot more militarized, a lot more formal and stuff than ROTC. When you do ROTC, it's like you're going to college and then you're doing ROTC. When you're at West Point, it's like military and then college kind of thing. In my opinion, obviously I haven't been West Point, so that's just my opinion on what I heard or have known from it. How do you know how long it takes for a combat engineer AIT? You can Google that. Flakgrate. You can Google that. So if you don't know how long your AIT is, you can literally just Google how long AIT is. Is it complicated to change your MOS before you ship to basic training? Complicated, no. A pain in the butt, yes. It'll probably be a pain in the butt. If you want to do that, you might end up having to drop your contract. You're gonna have to possibly go through MEPS all over again and everything. So, yeah. If you want to be a mechanic in the military, do you still have to worry about getting shot or anything? In any MOS, probably with the exception of a cyber MOS, you do have the possibility of getting shot at, because you don't really know what unit you're going to get attached to, right? So you could be a support MOS, and you could get attached to the 75th Ranger Regiment, one of those battalions, and then just, maybe you're over there, maybe you're not out doing something, but then all of a sudden you know, whoever we're fighting tries to attack, and they try to attack the main fob or whatever. And in that scenario, maybe yes, it's unlikely, but it's still possible. Do you know any 15 whiskeys? No, 31 Delta. Is there such thing as Navy infantry? I mean, I'm not in the Navy. I don't believe so. Navy isn't really like a combat kind of thing. You've got the SEALs. Ray over here with $10 super chat like a boss. How do you find more information about an MOS, like more than the regular GoArmy.com videos? 25 Victor is what I want to do, but I want to be in a combat environment. So like I said, with your MOS, you are not going to be able to control so much in the military is random as far as the experiences that you're going to have, because it depends on the units that you go to, the units that you get attached to. You have no control over that, right? So if you want to be in a combat environment, you're not going to be able to, I mean, you're not going to be able to do anything about that, especially your first time. You maybe, once you're actually in, you might be able to do some things and be like, switch to a different unit or something. I don't know. But as far as finding other information on MOSs besides GoArmy.com, you can look at forums. Luckily enough for me, one of my really good friends was a 25 Bravo in the Army, and he is still active, right? So he probably just got an AIT maybe a year or so after I did. And that's really your best choice, is maybe to find somebody that you know that knows something about it, or your recruiter hopefully knows something about it. Yeah, but I mean it's kind of tough, and that's one of the reasons why, like, I've wanted to make videos. Like I made with the video with my brother 13 Fox, what that's like. I've wanted to make some other ones, but honestly, people are kind of just like flaky whenever it comes to making YouTube videos because they're nervous or something. But I'm sure at some point, I would freaking love to have just like a series where I talk about, where I have somebody and, you know, we talk about what the AIT is like, so you guys can prepare for that AIT for whatever MOS that is. And then I would like to talk about kind of like the day in the life of that MOS, right? So if that person's active duty, what kind of things can they expect to do? Do you actually get the chance to do your job? Because some jobs in the Army, you don't really do your job. You know, you kind of do your job, and then the Army hires independent contractors to come and do your job. So that's something that's a cool experience. But I would love to do that at some point. But I was going to answer something else. What was my GPA in high school? My GPA, what the freak was it? Like 4.3 or something? I don't know. I've never honestly really cared about my GPA. Like I took one AP class. I took AP Calculus in high school. I didn't take anything else. Yeah, but yeah, the weighted GPA was like 4.2, 4. It was over 4 for sure. I was in the National Honor Society and whatnot. At 17, should I take any vitamins or supplements like fish oil, etc.? Go to the gym 4 days a week and weight train. Yeah, you should. At 17 years old, you should definitely start taking weightlifting serious. You're at that age where I think that's good. I think 16 and older. 15 maybe, kind of depend on like what your build is and stuff. But if you're like 14 or younger, I don't think you should take weightlifting all that seriously. I think you should just, if you want to, just do some push-ups, pull-ups, to calisthenics work. But fish oils and stuff like that, I've never been a huge fan of like all these like minor little things. You know, vitamins and minerals. I have some drinks and stuff where I try to get on my vitamins and minerals. I think it's important, but I don't think it's necessarily a game changer. I think the biggest two things that are game changers is protein and creatine are the two, I would say, most beneficial supplements that you can get, is protein and creatine. And if you see me drinking this right now, it's BCAAs. Those BCAAs can be used to help you when you're bulking and your muscle repair and all that stuff. And also, I take it a lot whenever I'm cutting weight and I'm losing weight, so that it can help me maintain my muscles. So let me see something real quick. Yeah, I don't know what that MOS is. So that person asked me, what do I think about 31 Delta? I think he's written it like 500 times. I don't know anything about that MOS. There's 160 plus MOSs in the Army, and yeah, like you only will know a sphere. That's why I've said in this live stream, past videos, when you talk to a recruiter, find out what their MOS was, their sphere of knowledge that they have, because just because you're in the military does not mean you know about every MOS. I'll talk to so many people that are higher up, and you know, I would tell them I was a 25 Bravo, and they're like, what's that? And I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's like one of the main jobs, you know, 25 Bravo, but it's an IT specialist. And they're just like, oh, okay. You know, and these are like command sergeant majors and like, you know, master sergeants, people who've been in the military for 20 years, and they don't know every MOS. So you say 31 Delta, you know, I've been in for a little over 3 years, like 3 years and 3 months. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. JB Entertainment with the $5 super chat. Going for 91 Bravo and wife is concerned about family relocation. How does that work? So family relocations, right? So you're married, so that's good. What I believe, obviously I haven't ever done this, but what I believe is how it works is, let's say you go active duty and you get stationed somewhere and you're going to have to relocate. Well, the government will help pay. They will pay you, and they'll pay you X amount of money depending on different variables, and they will help pay you to move to that base, right? So let's say you live in California and you got to go to Fort Bragg. Well, they will pay you to move from California to go to Fort Bragg, and what they pay you should cover all of your expenses and fees and all that stuff. So you will not have to pay out of pocket for all of that. You may have to write up front. Maybe if you get a government travel card, that might be a thing. A government travel card, if you guys don't know, whenever you join the military, at least the Army in general, but it should be all the branches, you'll get a credit card, and it'll be your government travel card. And what it'll allow you to do is whenever you go on orders and you have to travel or something, then they will activate that card, and all the expenses that you use on that trip or whatever while you're on orders, you put it on that credit card and they will pay it off, and you don't have to actually pay anything. So maybe that might work out to where you join, they give you the credit card, and then you pay for all the travel. So I wouldn't worry about that if that's what you're worried about, is the finance part. And it shouldn't take too long to do that. Where is this Reed? I recognize your profile picture, man. Reed, you're the man. Sorry I'm late. What up, Papa Wardizzle? What I miss? I don't know. You could look back later. Honestly, whenever I do these live streams, I'm in a daze sometimes because I don't know how I do with these live streams. Like, do you guys think I do a good job as far as talking to the camera? Because I'm really, you know, I mean, I'm here by myself. You know, it's just me talking to you guys, reading the chat. And it's just me talking, and I'm just like, you know, there's 100+ people watching right now, so, you know, it's getting a little crazy. I remember doing these live streams, and there was only like 10 people watching, 12 people watching. That was, you know, a lot less stress. I remember last week it was a crazy amount of people live stream. Crazy. Bernie, Lomax, $4.99. That $4.99, you guys are crazy with that. Like, is there like a thing in the super chat, like if you go up like a tick more, doesn't do it to $5 or something? I told this female captain at MEPS that I was going as a 31 Bravo, and she said, "What's that? LOL. Leaving June 11th." Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I mean, hold on. Somebody asked me something. That is funny. Hashtag Pop Award. You guys are funny. Do you know much about the Rangers? I would say for somebody who is not in the Ranger Regiment, and I would say I definitely do. I'm going to make a video. Well, I'll do it Wednesday. I might upload the video Wednesday because I do plan on making the video with my friends, with my brother's friend who went to RASP twice. We plan on making a video together about RASP. But before I make a video about RASP, I want to make a video talking to you guys about Ranger School and RASP, aka the 75th Ranger Regiment. Because a lot of people, when you're joining, you guys are like, oh yeah, I'm going to go to Ranger School. You're not going to Ranger School. You're going to RASP. There's a difference between the 75th Ranger Regiment and going to Ranger School. There's a humongous difference. They're not the same thing whatsoever. What did you say? Answer my questions now, please. Sarah, what did you say? What was your question? You're doing great. Thank you. You do a good job. All right, so I'm reading all y'all's comments. What am I going to read? I go to advanced camp this summer. 4th Reg. 4th Reg. Not bad. 4th Reg, I think, you know, that's a good spot to go. I was 1st Reg. I don't know if you... I'm assuming most of the ROTC people probably that follow me have probably, hopefully, seen my advanced camp video. I made that video right after I got back from advanced camp. What is something you wish someone told you before you got there? What is something I wish? I wish I would have brought more batteries for my headlamp. So I wish somebody would have told me that. I don't know. That's a hard question because personally, with my ROTC program, I felt very prepared for having been to basic training before and all that. I felt very prepared. I would have definitely bought some really good socks, right? So you're going to be doing a lot of walking. I would have brought some moleskin. Definitely make sure you bring some moleskin for your feet. And I would have bought some really good wool socks. I only have 2 pairs. Yeah, I think. I only have 2 pairs of pretty good socks I use for ruck marches. But I would have bought, you know, several more. So that's something that I would definitely look into because when you're going to advanced camp, you're going to be walking miles and miles and miles every single day, right? Every single day. And when you're at Fort Knox, the terrain at Fort Knox is terrible. So something I guess somebody could have told me is, dang, the freaking terrain at Fort Knox is horrible. Like, oh, it is the worst. And I'm not even kidding you. Like, you're going to be basically climbing up. Brianna, you're going to be basically climbing up cliffs with your ruck on, with your weapon, and oh man, it is terrible. You know, there's so many bushes and everything. But yeah, so that's bad. Also, if you're going to advanced camp, I would make sure that you brush up on your land nav because land nav is gonna be important. So when you're out doing your platoon patrols, you don't want to get lost, right? You don't want to get lost because when you're out there, you've got to do 2 missions every day. So you do your 1 mission and you got several hours to do it. And then you have another mission, and you have several hours to do it. Well, if you take forever on the first mission, and you take a while on this next mission, you're not going to get that much sleep that night. You're only going to be getting, Brianna, I would say 4, depending on where you go. So I was probably the 1st Regiment. We were probably on the lower end of the spectrum with sleep. We got like 3.5 to 4.5 hours of sleep. A lot of people got like 4 to 5 hours of sleep, which that 30 minutes makes a real difference. And you do have to do fire guard at night, so yeah, that's it for that. Hey Matt, just got approved by the board for OCS. Congratulations, Zach. Going back to MEPS Tuesday since I have a lot of bills, i.e. student loans, to pay. How smooth is the pay process? What do you mean how smooth is the pay process? So if you're talking about the pay through the military, it's going to be all direct deposit. So the 1st and the 15th of every month, if you have USAA or Navy Federal, it is a date earlier, so it will be like the last day of the month and the 14th of every month. And that should not ever be a problem. The only time it is a problem is if there's a government shutdown. And then they do not pay military. So, but yeah, I think that's what you're asking, and that is kind of how it goes. Dang it. Is it true that the Army provides you a home to live when you return to the civilian life after being in active duty? No, that is not true at all. The thing that you're probably talking about is the VA loan, VA home loan. What that is, for those of you guys that don't know, so let's say me, myself, I'm 25 years old. You know, I have a job, you know, making about $50,000 a year or so. And I want to buy a home for me and my wife and kids and everything. Well, if you're not prior service military and you haven't done at least 6 years, in the reserves or the guard, or at least 180 days of active duty service, I believe is what it is, then that is when you qualify for the VA loan. But let's say you're a civilian, you go apply for your home loan, you're gonna get a certain interest rate, and you're probably more than likely 99.99999% chance you're gonna have to put down some kind of deposit of like 10%, 20% of the whole loan. So if you're gonna buy a $200,000 house, maybe you got to put down like a $40,000 deposit. So that's like, crap, I got to save up all that money. If you are in the military and you did the 180 days of active duty, or you were in the reserves or guard for 6 years, the VA home loan is going to basically guarantee you a loan. Should be generally at on average less than or a smaller interest rate, and you should not, you don't have to necessarily put down a deposit, right? So it helps people in the military actually buy a home, and it kind of guarantees that you will buy a home. So like for my dad, we didn't. So if you guys don't know, I'm one kid of 8 different kids. So my parents had 8 kids, and we didn't really have much money at all growing up. Like we really didn't. So there was 10 of us living in like a 2-bedroom home that was transformed into like a 4-bedroom home with 1 bathroom. There was 1 bathroom in my house growing up with 10 people there. So going to school in the mornings was ridiculous. I remember us all brushing our teeth, like taking turns and doing everything. It was crazy. But my dad didn't have the money for the longest time to afford to buy a house. And we didn't actually buy a home until I was 16 years old, right? We didn't do that until I was 16. But if he was in the military for that certain amount of time, he could have got his VA loan, which he was in the military, but I don't think he qualified for what he did. It's kind of a long story. It's a complicated story with my dad. But anyways, that was a long-winded response. I can't do a single push-up. What do? Do push-ups on your knees. I also recommend that if you guys cannot do a lot of push-ups or any push-ups at all, that you do actually hit the gym. Like try to hit the gym, build up your chest muscles and your arms. Do bench press with like just the bar, and that will help you build your muscle. And we got a sponsor. What? New sponsor, welcome, Joseph. I can't pronounce your last name. Thank you. I totally forgot about YouTube sponsorship thing. Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you. That's crazy. Somebody said houses are a waste of money. Yes and no. So houses are not a waste of money. Number one, if you actually buy a good quality, good value house and you don't overpay. And then number two, you actually live there for a while or you keep it for a while. But if you like buy a house, then you move and you buy another house, and you move and buy another house, and you move and buy another house, that's generally when people are like, it might be more beneficial for you to rent. But yeah, like when you buy a home, a lot of times you can get equity in that home. So let's say I buy a home for, maybe the economy's, the housing market isn't really that great. The house is valued at $200,000, but you buy it at $150,000, and it's kind of just like, boom, you got $50,000 in equity in that house. You hold on to that house for a little bit. You're making payments on it. Your payments, you owe $130,000 left in that house after a couple of years. Then you sell it for $200,000, and it's like, boom, you basically made $70,000. Obviously, that sounds super simple, and it kind of is the concept of it, but that's how homes can be beneficial. But if you buy, freaking a house at the peak of the housing market is just doing fantastic, and then it crashes, and then you want to move and sell your home, and you sell your home for less than you owe on it, then that's where it can not be good. Please make a video on your RTC session experience. Mine is a little bit different being in the reserves. And guard, getting your branch is different than going active duty. But I do plan on actually, I probably should do that soon. Because a lot of you guys who are in RTC are about to go through that this fall, and you're about to get your branches and everything. So I probably will do that pretty soon. Thank you, Matt. Well, you're welcome. Philosphos. Has everyone? Yeah, everyone tells me they feel bad. I don't know what you're talking about. Did that show up? Wait, hold up a minute. Oh, yes, Joseph. You're welcome. Your videos are so helpful and informative. I really appreciate that, and I hope you like the little icon. Apparently, you're my second sponsor, and when you get sponsored something for me as a channel, I get different benefits for you guys, so I can do different things for you guys. So now that you're a sponsor, you've got, you know, the bolded name and everything. You got the little flag icon next to you that I put that there, but I can assign an individual icon for your name, I believe. So that's really cool. Sponsors are freaking awesome. I didn't even know, like, I didn't even know there was like a sponsor button on the live stream page. Like, is that even a thing? Alright, I'm gonna refresh this page real quick. Yeah, that's not doing it. Why is that not doing it? I don't know. I'm gonna figure out. Never mind. I don't even need to tell you guys about that. It's not your problem. What happens if I'm in boot camp and I want to send a letter to somebody who's in another country? Then I hope you have the proper stamps and stuff, and you can send a letter to them. I mean, sending a letter, you just send a letter. So, really hope this YouTube thing works out for him. He's a good guy, and he can help, and he's a good guy, and you can tell he do good things with the money he makes. Yeah, like yeah, like I want to, everything that I've made, I put like basically back into this YouTube channel. You know, this, you know, microphone right here, the webcam that you guys are seeing this on. You know, I'm trying to do my best to make things better for you guys. I also want to buy a few things to make a video better. So there's a series that I want to do, but I'm gonna have to probably spend a couple $100, maybe not a couple $100, but like $200 on some stuff. But that will probably be like a 15 video series, so we'll see. But I think it'll be very, very beneficial for you guys. Does anyone know about glasses for basic and active duty? You cannot wear contact lenses when you're at basic training. You can wear them when you're actually just in the military. You're not really supposed to in a training environment. But yeah, I mean, you can wear glasses. They will issue you glasses. You can't have your own glasses in basic training. Once you get out of basic training, then you can have your own glasses. When is Nava versus Ward happening? I don't know, but I'm pretty sure at some point, right? So at some point, you know, Nava is one of the only military YouTubers that I have not talked to in any way, shape, or form. Pretty much everybody else, as far as like, let's talk about the people who are in that February frenzy little bracketing thing. Pretty much everybody else, for the most part, I believe I've talked to in some way, shape, or form, or I know that they know who I am because they've watched a stream or something like that. Nava is the only person that I haven't. So, but yeah, I mean, if you guys don't follow Nava the Beast, or if you don't know who he is, he's the biggest Army YouTuber, or military YouTuber, not Army YouTuber. He's the Marines. And he's done a couple of videos on Marines versus Army, and it's basically been a physical PT test, you know, challenge against the two. So he beat somebody else, and then he had these two females go up against each other. And then the Army female, she ended up, I think it was like her shin splints or something, which is totally fine. Like, if you're hurting real bad, you know, for something like that, don't injure yourself. But I'm not sure if it was really hurting that bad, why she did that, and they didn't show it a little bit. But anyways, apparently the Marines are winning 2-0. So I'm like, hey, you know, I think it'll be really great, you know, Nava versus me, you know. At the time, I also said, like, I'd left a comment on his video, and I was like, it could be kind of like Army officer versus enlisted Marine kind of thing, and I think that would be really cool. Don't know when it's going to happen ever. Oh my God. I don't know when it's going to happen ever, but I think it's one of those things that at some point I'm really going to try to make that happen. Luke, you're killing me, man. You're killing me. Sorry I've been absent lately. Matt got laid off and had to go through the hiring process for my new company. Oh, really? Glad to see you're still going strong. Here's a portion of the funds for the new equipment. Keep up the good work, and thanks for all the inspiration you give. Oh, Luke. You are... You're amazing, and you're ridiculous at the same time. I just want you to know that, and I also don't think you understand how much I appreciate that and how much I appreciate all the support you've given me on this channel. Luke, you're the man. I want to do so much for you right now that I can't, but I want to. I wish you lived somewhere close to North Carolina. You could, if you come by here, then we can go get something to eat and hang out or something, because you're the man. You're ridiculous. But yeah, dude, I appreciate that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But yeah, all right. So there's, some of the money that I'm gonna get for the videos. All gonna go towards back into YouTube. That is kind of the goal of this. So, anyways, man, Luke, that blows my mind, man. You're, holy crap. Wow, Luke, you're great. Look at all these people. Luke, you should put your Instagram or something in the thing, and then everybody can follow you, because you're just if they want to follow a beast, they'll follow you, Luke. Matt Lorm asked questions again. I got diagnosed with asthma after joining the Army Reserves. What should I do? Well, that's going to be a tricky situation, because if you got diagnosed with asthma after joining the military, then they're going to look into your records more than likely, and they're going to be like, all right, did this person have asthma before joining? And if it turns out that you did get diagnosed with asthma before joining, then that's not going to be good. But if you got diagnosed after, I'm not sure if they're going to pay for any of your medical expenses and stuff like that, but they might. The Sword, hello chat and Matt. What's up, The Sword? But yeah, so if you guys didn't know, a little fun fact here or whatever. So if you join the military, let's say you're like me. I joined the military, no issues, physical issues whatsoever. I had nothing wrong with me. Oh my God. No physical issues, nothing wrong with me whatsoever. I joined the military. Let's say I break my foot or I get hurt, on duty. The military will pay for all of your medical expenses, and sometimes it's bad enough if it's a reoccurring thing that's going to hinder you for the rest of your life. They will pay you basically some amount of money for the rest of your life. And who is this other crazy person? Redneck 007. Rednecked 007. What are you doing, man? You didn't even write anything. What are you doing? Man, this is why. All right, so this is yeah, that definitely helps Redneck. You guys, y'all can stop it. We have accomplished whatever that. Gosh dang, you guys killing me over here. But yeah, so this is kind of what makes me feel bad. So this is what I talked about in my one video with the Patreon thing. So if you guys don't know what Patreon is, it is something where you can basically subscribe to support me, kind of like the thing that somebody just did with the sponsors, and I can basically do something for you guys in return, right? So if he were to do $50 instead of doing $50, he subscribed to do like a $10 donation thing for 5 months or whatever. There will be things that I could do for him, but that's what I would like to do. New sponsor, Soldier Boy 98. Man, I listened to Soldier Boy. I was reminiscing a little while ago. I mean, it was like 2 weeks ago in the car, and Soldier Boy was huge whenever I was in like 7th grade. And I was just listening to stuff. So I don't know if that's the same Soldier Boy that you're talking about versus, or what your name is versus me. But yeah. I'm retired from the Army. Oh, wow. What did you retire as? Okay, former Army, 13 Foxtrot. Oh, okay, I support what you're doing, brother. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, so you're the same MOS as my brother. Do the MEPS people disqualify you if you don't choose a job on the day of your MEP? Rand, yeah. So they don't disqualify you. So you go to MEPS. They present you, once you go through everything, they're going to present you with that piece of paper, and they're gonna spill out your contract and be like, okay, this is your contract. The counselor that is going to be at MEPS, so they're going to show you your contract, and then you're going to sign it at MEPS. If you don't sign it at MEPS, it doesn't disqualify you or anything from joining, but you basically forfeit that job that you're wanting, because when you go and you talk to a recruiter, they're going to reserve, oh my God, they're going to reserve that job for you. When you go to MEPS, you have the opportunity to sign for that job. If you leave MEPS without signing for that job is no longer reserved. And we got some crazy people over here. Luke, $10, never mind. What flavor of BCAs is that? This is lemonade. Yeah, I have the lemonade and the watermelon. I try to switch them up every now and then. But redneck. Oh. Gosh, you're ridiculous, dude. I'm retired from the Army after Iraq. Oh, really? I support what you're doing. I'm following you for a while and love what you're doing. Hua, brother. Hua. Gosh, y'all making it hot in here. Y'all making it hot in here. Like I said, you guys can stop now. You guys should stop. Y'all crazy. Very much a thing. What are you guys reading? I meant to send a full... No, you didn't. Is the peanut butter shot still a thing? Yes, it is. My girlfriend, in one of her letters that she wrote me, we talked about this earlier a little bit, but my girlfriend's written me 2 letters, and in one of the letters, she talks about the peanut butter shot, and she's like, it hurt like crap. I don't know if she's exaggerating or whatever. To me, the peanut butter shot, like, it hurt. It was definitely the most painful shot that I've ever had, and it had repercussions for a while, so, like, you can still feel it. It's kind of like, you know... Think of it as like you go to the gym and you have squat day and you're working out your legs, and then you have your soreness in your legs for the next couple days. Well, think of like the soreness in your legs, but like in the upper part of your butt, and your butt is just sore and it's got a little knot and you rub it out. So it's a little painful, but it's really not that bad. Like the shot is worse, I guess, than the knot that you're trying to rub out. How difficult is it to change your MOS in the Army? Again, it's not difficult. That's one of those things that it is just going to depend, right? So if you are in the military, you can change if you're active duty or in the reserves, but it's really on the needs of the Army. At the end of the day, it's the needs of the Army. So if you're a certain MOS and one day you just decide that you want to switch your MOS, it is going to be needs of the Army. So you might be able to do that if your unit has a position available for that, and that's possible. Or you wait until you re-enlist in your contract, and I believe you can re-enlist into another MOS. Oh my God. But I believe you can re-enlist into another MOS, so it's really not that difficult. It just might take you time. Like, you're not going to be able to change your MOS like your first year in. Oh, Luke. Yeah, I promise. So here it is. Basically what Redneck said minus the being in the Army. I'm working towards joining your ranks. But here's the rest of it, whatever you want to use it for. Luke, like, I don't even think y'all understand. So I did the hot sauce thing. Oh, yeah, by the way, so the hot sauce video, we recorded this last night. If you guys don't follow me on Instagram or Snapchat, it's right here. But I posted that on there so you guys will know. It's going up tomorrow morning, but we did that, and it was, like, real hot. You guys are making me literally hot, like, with these super chats. Like, this is a record. Like, we're at a freaking record. Oh, and it's making me uncomfortable. Luke, again, you are the real MVP. I can't shout you out enough. I don't think you understand. Luke. You make me... If you guys are Panthers fans, Carolina Panthers fans, one of the linebackers is Luke Kuechly. And one of the things that the Panthers fans do is they yell, Luke, Luke. And that's what I think of whenever you super chat. I'm just like, Luke. It's crazy. Does anybody else support Chris Kyle? Yes, I mean, I do. His movie, American Sniper. If you guys haven't seen American Sniper, you definitely should. It's definitely one of my top favorite military movies. People ask me what my favorite military movie is. I don't know if I have one, but there are several ones that I really like. One of the more recent ones is I like 13 Hours a lot. I've seen 13 Hours several times, and I like American Sniper. But American Sniper came out like right as I was enlisting into the Army, and so that was like a nice little motivator for me. And I was like, yeah, it's freaking awesome. I don't have to worry about the peanut butter shot. At least I think I don't. So I'm allergic to what's in it. Yeah, so if you're allergic to, I believe it's penicillin. If you're allergic to penicillin, then you do not have to take the peanut butter shot. Chris Kyle was a good sniper but lied about his confirmed kills. Anthony Griffin, I don't know where you heard that, but it's not like, if you guys don't know like what a confirmed kill is, right? So if you're saying he lied about his confirmed kills, maybe he is like, I think I don't know, 130. I can't remember what it was. But let's say he had 100 confirmed kills, and he said, "Oh, I killed 130 people." He saying he killed 130 people. What a confirmed kill is like if the sniper shoots the guy, just because he sees his head blow off, does not mean that it's necessarily a confirmed kill. Like you have to literally go up to the body and confirm that that person is dead. So if you shoot somebody, and then, maybe he was fighting the Taliban at the time or whatever, and then he kills them, and then they drag him off. Like, that's not a confirmed kill. Like, he killed the guy. He obviously saw him shoot the guy. But because they didn't actually go and confirm that he was dead, then it's not a confirmed kill. So maybe there was a misconception there with you reading some article about him saying he killed more people than his confirmed kills or something. I don't know. Your boy Jacob, what the heck, man? You guys get him to notice my question, please. Isaiah Gray. Where is it at? Isaiah Gray. Do you know anything about the Navy SEALs? Do I know the... I mean, I don't really know anything about the Navy SEALs aside from what a lot of you guys might know. I do have a friend, kind of a friend. I mean, it's not like a close friend, but I do have a friend who I saw him the last day before, he was leaving for Buds. And so I haven't talked to him since. So I don't know. I don't have like experience hanging out with SEALs or anything like that. I know people who are Special Forces. I know people who are in the 75th Ranger Regiment. I know some Army people, but not any Navy SEALs. What are some things that make you not eligible for the Army? Felonies, a lot of broken bones, asthma, a lot of medical issues. There's a lot of several different things. If your eyesight, you can have bad eyesight, like you don't have to have 20/20 vision, but if you're like legally blind, then you can't join. Things like that. Does a peanut butter shot hurt? It hurts more than other shots, but personally I don't think it's that bad. Where is MEPS? MEPS depends on where you're at. So there's MEPS all across the country, and depending on where you live is going to be where that MEPS is located. Can you join if you are a minor, if you have a minor mental disorder? Mental things are kind of tricky. One of the reasons, like, let's say you're diagnosed with depression. I believe you can't have been taking medication or anything like that, or maybe if you're diagnosed with depression not at all, you can't join. But the reason that mental disorders are a big thing in the military, and it's kind of like a no-go, but you still, no matter what I say ever about medical issues, you guys ask me medical issues like more than anything. No matter what I say, though, you still need to go to a recruiter and find out for yourself. But the reason that depression and things are such a big deal is suicides, right? So a lot of people, like, let's say you were diagnosed with depression before, maybe you didn't tell your recruiter or something, then you go to basic training and you get depressed, and then you end up killing yourself. And then your family is just like, yeah, they were depressed all the time. It's like, what the heck? So people who have had mental disorders and things like that are more honestly prone to depression and bad things that the Army doesn't want to happen. And I mean, yeah, people do kill themselves. People do get PTSD. People do have things like that that happen. If you've had a mental issue before, some of the mental stresses of the military may not mix well. So, what happens if you fail the first PT test at basic training? nothing necessarily happens aside from you basically just being put on the radar of the drill sergeants. Honestly, to be completely honest with you guys, I think you guys will be surprised at how many people do not pass the PT test, the first PT test, right? And I'm talking about the first 222. How about we all promise to donate money if Matt grows a mustache? No, I'm not gonna. I don't want to grow a mustache. I think personally, I don't look good with mustache. The only thing I can do is this, whatever you call it. What was I talking about? Yeah. So the 111, you can't pass or fail that. That's just like a judge, right? The drill sergeants have an opportunity to see you for the first time, running, doing push-ups, so they will know this guy's not in shape. This guy's freaking fast as crap, so we don't really have to stress on him too much. A lot of people are like, oh, don't do super good on the run. Don't go above and beyond on the PT test because you're going to stand out at basic training. And I tell those people that you're probably a failure or a slacker or something. Like, if you can do your best, do your freaking best at all times. And if you're one of the guys who does really well at the PT test, the drill sergeants a lot of times aren't going to be hazing you, not hazing you, but, you know, on you as much for your PT. But on that 111, if you do really poorly and you're one of those people who does a mile in, 15 minutes, the drill sergeants are going to be looking at you whenever you're doing PT tests and AGR runs. They're going to be pushing you. They're going to be yelling at you to, hurry up, run, blah, blah, blah. But if you fail the actual first 222, it's the same thing. It's just another really opportunity for the drill sergeant to see who's improved and everything, but nothing really happens to you if you fail the first PT test. If you do really bad, sometimes, this is sometimes, so this might happen to you. You might do, if you fail the PT test, you might do extra PT, right? So at the end of the day, at the end of the training day, so you've done training, at the end of the day, you might do extra PT, and that would be for the people who have failed the PT test. That doesn't happen in every basic training cycle, but it might happen in your cycle. So that's something that could happen. So if you fail the PT test, you might end up doing extra PT. And it's not like smoking PT. It's just like doing extra push-ups and sit-ups and doing some extra running and stuff like that. What is your favorite... Let me answer this one. What are your thoughts on the pink and greens? Wow, there. I don't like the fact that it's kind of looking like we're going to get the pink and greens. I was talking to I was talking to somebody in my chain of command about it. And the pink and greens aren't going to completely replace our ASUs. They're just going to be for a different scenario. So the pink and greens are going to be more like a day-to-day wear, whereas the ASUs that we wear now are going to be the formal wear. So let's say you're working in a garrison environment, which means you're working like in an office, right? You will wear the pink and greens to work instead of your current, OCP ASU uniform. So yeah. And then for more formal events, for balls, things like that, you're going to wear your ASUs. So, Darth Kilhoun, the first of the Gray Sith. That is a long, pretty specific, awesome name. I'm enlisting in the National Guard next year as a split year, and I was wondering how much I should march, what rucksack should I use, and terrain. So, first things first, doing anything is going to be better than doing nothing. I do not recommend that you just put a bunch of weight in a backpack. A lot of people throw like 30 pounds in a backpack and they'll be like ruck marching. Don't do that. That could, put some unnecessary strain on your back that you don't want to do. But I suggest doing hikes and stuff like that. So going across different terrain I think is good. You can also just walk on the road because you're going to be doing a lot of road marches. So building up your feet for that, because it's totally different walking on sand, the dirt, going up a mountain thing than walking on a road, right? An asphalt road, is pretty rough on your feet because there's really no give. So for a shorter distance, the road's not bad. But I just suggest, man, doing hiking. I think that's a really big deal. And having maybe a little bit of weight on some kind of backpack. If you have an actual rucksack, just any kind of actual rucksack where you can have waist support. I don't really recommend any specific one, but yeah, I think that would be good. Weight sack. What weight sack? What do you What is a ruck march? A ruck march is... I don't know why I just about drew a blank. A ruck march, so you know you wear the rucksack on your back, which the rucksack on your back, you know, you'll have the straps, you also have waist support, and a ruck march is you're just walking a certain distance with the rucksack on. And that's all that is. Bring back the pink and greens. Ray Turner over here with another super chat. I was in a bad place in life. I had trouble with depression, hurt myself, have prominent scarring. Told my recruiter, he said I would be fine. Will I? If your recruiter said you'll be fine, you should. Like I said, as long as it's not like a recent thing, right? So if it was in the past, like, you should be okay. But they're kind of, it's good for you to tell them that, because if anything happens, they're going to want to know. So, like, let's say, I'm not saying it's going to be you, for example, but let's say you go to base training, you get all upset. You know, if it's in your records or whatever that, you know, XYZ person has hurt themselves in the past, then that's something good to know. But yeah, I think you'll be fine. I go with what recruiters say. If your recruiter says you'll be fine, they know more of the story than I know, then you should be good. Soldier Boy, smoking is more along the lines of extensive push-up planks and so on. Yes, and usually a little bit of like ab exercises like the V-up or flutter kicks and things like that. Matt, can you talk about NBC or CBRC? What are you, NBC? Non-biological, like rate. You talking about the gas chamber or what? Matt, what is the score for the Asvab to be a dog handler? Also, what can you tell me about it, or can you make a video on it that I can understand? So, I don't really know anything about that MOS or job or whatever, but a specific score. There's no Asvab score to get you an MOS job. It goes off of your line scores. Your Asvab, your total Asvab, is composed of different line scores, because when you take the Asvab, you've got a whole bunch of different categories that you're going to be tested on. So what you can do is you can look up that MOS and you can look up the specific line score that you need to get, and you can make sure you study really hard on that. So as long as you pass the ASVAB and get the appropriate line scores that you need for that job, then you're good to go. But just because, you know, somebody with a 50 ASVAB, two people with a 50 ASVAB might not qualify for the same jobs because their line scores are not the same. How long is basic training? I believe it's 9 weeks, 4 days is what it is. What is your funniest BMT story? Basic military training is not Army. Basic combat training is the Army. So BMT is like Air Force. My girlfriend's at BMT, Basic Military Training. I'm not sure what they call it in the Navy. I really have no clue. But my funniest basic training story, I have a lot of funny basic training stories. I should probably, you guys really, I think, enjoyed my video that I talked about the time I got my platoon smoked for 2 hours. But one of the most memorable things that I have from basic training, my favorite thing was whenever I beat the crap out of this dude. I hope he's not watching this. It's crazy. I'm at the point now on YouTube where I really need to be wary about people watching my videos, because, fun fact, my head drill sergeant found my YouTube channel the other day and messaged me on Facebook about it. I'm like, oh, shoot. And I can talk about that in a little bit if you guys want me to. But yeah, my drill sergeant messaged me, and I'm like, whoa. But basically, when I beat this dude down in Pugils, he basically, I had done something to him. I helped him, but he didn't look at it as me helping him. He looked at it as like, what the freak? Don't, you know, tell me what to do kind of thing, or help me or whatever. I'm like, whoa, if I didn't do that, then we would have all got in trouble. So screw you. And he called me out to fight against him in the Pugils, and I literally, like, beat him down. So, like, you know, I'm a pretty nice guy, but I'm pretty good at fighting, and I really, you know, and I enjoy it. I think it, you know, lets off some steam and stuff like that, and it's fun. And this dude called me out to fight against him, and yeah, and I literally beat him into the ground, knocked his mouthpiece and stuff out with you know, he had a football helmet on thing, and knocked it out, knocked him on the ground a few times, and then the next day he said he was complaining that he had a concussion. So yeah, that was good times. Pugils was definitely one of the most fun things that I did at basic training, just because of that. So I was the best in my platoon at Pugil, so I beat, you know, the people in my weight class. They're not going to put somebody huge up against somebody that's small, but for the people that were my size, I was in like the middleweight tier. I won that. Thank you. I'd love to hear the drill sergeant story. How hard is it? Yeah, all right. So a lot of you are saying, tell us about the Facebook message story. Oh, several of you have messaged me on Instagram. By the way, I did pick the winner on Instagram. I did pick the Instagram winner. So I did this post on Instagram for the BPN giveaway. And I'm definitely going to be doing giveaways and stuff more on Instagram and whatnot in the future, so you guys should check that out. But I'm about to look up this thing. But in the meantime, Michael Clark with a $5 super chat at AIT as I watch. Have missed the channel 68 Whiskey. Oh, so you're going to have a long AIT. Well, I've missed you, Michael. I've missed you too. I love it. I love it when you guys go to basic training and then, you know, AIT, you know, and message me or whatever. That's awesome. Garrett, please help. Post a long message in chat. I will try and scroll up and find it. But I'm trying to... Alright, I found it. Let me find this. Let me find my Facebook message from my drill sergeant. I'm not going to read you guys the whole conversation. But I will... I will read you the first message that he said. But Garrett said, been thinking of joining the military to do production video photography stuff. Would the Army or the Air Force be better for me? Thanks a million, man. Love the videos. Keep it up. I think both would be perfectly fine, and I'm all for that. You know, I think the military's their Facebook page managers and the people who actually do that, because that's like a job that you can have, is you can manage basically the Facebook pages, the social media pages, and make videos and shoot pictures and things for the military. I don't think either one is going to be better or worse. You know, if you want to just go off a generalization, maybe the Air Force might have better computers and stuff for you to use. I don't know. But I think either one is going to be perfectly fine, whichever one you want to go with. And I would love that. If you're good with videos, because I see so many Army videos, and I'm just like, I mean, I'm not the greatest editor in the world. I have like zero formal or whatever editing experience like whatsoever. I just like, you know, do this. But so many people are just like terrible. Like they have so many, like, I don't know. The Army and is in need for some good cinematographer people. Luke, I'm trying to read this message, man. Luke's Trucking Life. Brooke asked a question I'd like to know the answer to. Can you dip in basic training? Also, will your drill instructor make you eat your dip? Dip equal chewing tobacco. No, if you... my Instagram is right here. I don't know why so many people ask me what my Instagram and Snapchat is. I'm like, it's right here. I mean, is this not noticeable? I try to make it as noticeable as I can. Like, here's my Twitter. But yeah, so you cannot use any kind of tobacco, no alcohol, anything during basic training. If you do, you will get, at bare minimum, an Article 15. So you're going to get rank maybe taken. You're going to get your pay definitely taken. And if you're like one of my buddies who somehow got a can of dip the last week of basic training, and he was dipping in my barracks. He was in my platoon, and he was dipping, and he was sitting on the water fountain right next to the door, the entrance of the freaking barracks, the bay area. And a drill sergeant walks in and talks to him and notices that he has a dip in his mouth. And you know what? We were at the last week of basic training. And he got kicked out of the Army for it. So, no, you cannot dip. And will they make you eat it? That would be considered abuse by the drill sergeant. So if any drill sergeant ever were to make you eat your dip, they would get in a lot of trouble for that. So anyways. Might font your Insta. I mean, alright, so Instagram and Snapchat is the same username. The reason why I made this little icon to be split like this, or I had this icon split like this, is because Instagram and Snapchat is the same. And then Twitter is different. And Twitter, if you guys didn't know, is the best place to contact me. Instagram and Snapchat, I get a lot of messages and I can't get back to everybody. Twitter, I can guaranteed at very least read your message, if not get back to you. So, without further ado, the message from my drill sergeant that he sent me. So, if you guys send me messages on Facebook, I'm trying to keep my Facebook messages just me, right? So just, you know, just me, it's like a personal thing. So Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, all that, you guys can send me as many DMs as you want. Facebook, I just want it to be, you know, my like personal thing. But I was looking through my thing and I saw this last name, and the only person I've ever met before with this last name was my head drill sergeant. And so I saw it, I was like, what the heck? And so I read it, and then he says Ward, comma. He goes, explain to me why I am on YouTube pulling up videos of proper push-up form for an APFT validation class tomorrow, and your face is invading my screen. So he's like, so his first message he sends me is, Ward, why the heck am I looking at videos on YouTube about the Army PT stuff, and your face is all over my screen? And I'm just like, what? Like, this is ridiculous. So I replied back to him, and I was like, hey, you know, this is kind of just, you know, a thing that I do now. And basically we talked for a little bit, and, you know, he was like, he was just kidding with me or whatever a little bit. And basically I was always really curious what my drill sergeants would think about, like, me making videos. Like, you know, other people have, you know, said good things about me making, but I was like, my drill sergeants, like, what do they think about me making videos, you know, about basic training, about the Army? And he said basically that he is happy that, you know, if anybody's doing it, he's happy that it's me making these videos rather than other people. So that meant a lot to me to hear, you know, my head drill sergeant say that he is happy that that I'm the one making the videos. So yeah. And then he also said he watched a couple of my videos, and I was like, what? So this is the drill sergeant that got pissed at me for the video that I made about the I got my platoon smoked for 2 hours, and he replied to me, and he was like, yeah, I remember that. And he was like, I was freaking pissed. He's like, I still remember that. And I was like, oh shoot. But we got Luke over here with the Luke. Stop it, man. Look, you got so many super chats up top. Like, it's just, you're just trying to invade the super chat screen up top. Like, what the heck? But outside of basic, also I'd recommend changing your lettering to a brighter color. I mean, that's definitely a good point. So I have like the black and thing, but I mean, I thought like the yellow and stuff should be enough attention. I don't know. If you guys are watching on your phone, maybe it's different. I do YouTube stuff on whatever. Were you with a platoon leader? Yes, I was the platoon leader pretty much the entirety of basic training. So I've never made a video talking about it, but literally, all right, so this is the general story. I'm actually probably gonna make a video about this because I think it's kind of interesting because it's a pretty rare occurrence for somebody to be the platoon leader basically the whole time at basic training. Because the reason why it's rare is because most people get fired after a couple of days or a week or 2 weeks or so. So it's pretty rare that somebody will stay a platoon leader for a long time, let alone the entirety of basic training. What happened for me, this is a long story short, what happened for me is they picked a platoon leader. I was not picked. The first platoon leader was not picked by me, by the drill sergeant. Then, I think after 2 days or 3 days, he got fired by the drill sergeant. And then the drill sergeants asked the platoon who they wanted to be the platoon leader, and they said me. And then they also said, and then he asked for somebody else. So, and then they said another person, and so we went up to the drill sergeant, and whoever he asked us what our PT score was, I had the higher PT score. So then I became the platoon leader after the first platoon leader was fired after 3 days. So I became the platoon leader because I was elected by my peers in the platoon. They wanted me to be the leader, and I had the higher PT score of the other person. And then I was the platoon leader for the entire time at base training. So for 7 weeks, for about 7 weeks, because you don't pick a PL and stuff like at the very beginning of base training. And then like the last like couple of days of basic training, there was this inspection thing, and to be honest, I took the fall for my drill sergeant. I took the fall for my drill sergeant from my first sergeant. So my first sergeant come and did the thing. He found a problem. It was my drill sergeant's idea, but I told the first sergeant that it was my idea, and the first sergeant fired me as the platoon leader. And when my drill sergeant found out about that, he was pissed. There was like a couple of days left of basic training. There was a couple high stress things to do or whatever, and so he was pissed that I was fired. And I remember, when you're the PL at basic, it's a very stressful thing. And literally, like, my little brother was the PL at basic training for a couple of weeks, I think 3 weeks. And he was telling me, like, it's stressful. And I had the dude who became the PL after me. I was fired in the last couple of days of basic training. The next day he was like, Ward, I don't know how you freaking do this, because it is definitely stressful when you're the PL at basic. I'm telling you guys, it is a different experience being in a leadership position at basic training versus just being a follower the whole time. It's definitely different. So let me scroll down. But yeah, I want to make a video on talking about my, now that I think about it, maybe talking about my platoon leader experience while at basic training, because I learned a lot about myself. The fact that I was a platoon leader at basic for pretty much the whole time, I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about my leadership skills and things like that. It was more difficult for me at basic training because of that, more mentally demanding. So I learned a lot, and I thought it was a good experience overall. Matt, what firearm would you take if you got deployed? I would take no firearms because you can't take any. Like, I can't just take my pistol or my AR-15 with me when I deploy. Will they check for asthma at MEPS? I don't know if I have it. Want to make sure I don't. No, they're not going to check for asthma. How would you not know that you have it? Like, if you run and you're just like having trouble breathing, that could just be a thing that you just need to get in better cardiovascular shape. Matt, do you like World War I and World War II history? Yes and no. Like, I like the movies, but to be honest with you guys, I don't really like history that much. Like, certain things with history. Miles, you always ask me if I remember you, so yes. Melissa Church, these comments, y'all are laughing. But yeah, I mean, I'm not a history guy. I'm not an English guy. I like math. I like science. And I'm a bit of a nerd. And I like the gym, so it's like a weird thing. When should I apply to ROTC scholarship? I'm a junior in high school right now. As soon as you feel like you want to. As soon as the deadline is, submit that ROTC scholarship application before the deadline. They're like, what firearm would you have, like, issued wise? Well, I would just be issued an M4, and that's all I would have, would just be an M4. You're not going to be able to pick anything. If you're, infantry and you're on like the weapon squad, you might have a 249 or a 240. I almost said 250 for some reason. Matt, what are your thoughts on gun control? I actually answered that question in a Q&A. I answered that in a Q&A. I don't remember when it was. Was it my 35,000 subscriber Q&A, or was it my end of 2017 Q&A? I'm not sure. But my thoughts on Q&A, or my thoughts on freaking gun control is I don't want my guns to be taken. That is the long story short. If you want to hear more of it, there's more in the Q&A. Matt, can you tell me why do people change branches with other branches like Marines to Army? If so, how can they do it? So if your contract is over with one branch, let's say you were in the Marines and you did a 4-year contract. When your 4-year contract is up, you can go and switch to the Army. And because you're going from Marines to Army, you're not going to have to go to basic training again. So that's a really nice plus. So that's one reason why. So a lot of times when people are switching, it's usually from Marines to Army, or Marines to something else, or Army to Air Force or something like that. But let's say you went to like Navy basic training and or I believe like Air Force basic training. If you then want to switch to Army or the Marines, then I believe, at least for the Marines, I'm pretty sure for the Army too, you're going to have to go to basic training again. So usually it's people going from more of the combat related branches switching over to like the Navy or the Air Force, or maybe the Marines going to Army. The reason people do it, I don't know. It's the same reason that anybody really does anything, because they want to, because they feel like it's the best option for them. Maybe they didn't like it in the Marines, and maybe they're wanting to try their hand in the Army. Maybe they join the Marines, and they're like, man, this is really small. It's hard to get promoted. So they switch to the Army because it's easier to get promoted in the Army than it is in the Marines. The reason why it's harder to get promoted in the Marines is because there's not as many people. If there's not that many people, that means there's not going to be a whole lot of movement going around in the rank structure. So if the person above you doesn't leave, then you can't go up. You know, every year, you know, the government says we can have this many command sergeant majors and this many whatever, and we're supposed to have this many whatever. You're supposed to kind of abide by that, so they can't just keep moving people up and keep ranking people up unless there's a position for them to go to. David L. Good night. Hope you saw this. Good night. What's up, William? JC, he did a video on that. What did I do a video on? Yeah, I did. I've done 2 videos on the gas chamber. JC, one of them there, and they're both pretty in depth. I talk about my experience because I had a pretty unique experience going through the gas chamber. I've been through the gas chamber twice now. Second time was not as bad as the first. Just because you guys, if you wanna know why the second time wasn't bad as first, go watch my gas chamber video. I got skipped. What did you say, Luke? Do 88 Mike get issued a firearm when they're doing a mission? Example, taking supplies from one base to FOB. Can they choose what weapon they'd want to take within reason? It's always going to be an M4. It's always going to be an M4. Again, if you're like, for some reason, they're not going to have weapon squad if you're in a transportation unit or whatever. But if you're in a combat unit, they'll have like a weapon squad, and that weapon squad will have the 249s and the heavy guns, right? But you get issued a weapon, and that weapon is yours. You're going to check off the serial number on it, and so that weapon is yours. So yes, you know, 88 Mikes, truck drivers, if they're going and they're doing, if they're going, what the freak? Did I lose the word? What is that word? If they're going to convoy, if they're going to do a convoy somewhere, right? Yes, like if they're in a combat scenario, they're going to have weapons on them. There might be some gunner on top of the Humvee or something. So yes. Yeah, so sometimes when I'm reading these comments, like I'll hold it up, so they'll be kind of scrolling down, and I'll hold it at one spot, and then sometimes it jumps down, and then I lose some, and I have to like scroll back up, and you know, I don't necessarily read it linearly because it's easier for me, because if I keep it scrolled down at the bottom, then it just keeps going up, and then you know, that's what happens. What MOS do you recommend? 15 Delta Avenger Missile Defense Crew or 31 Bravo Military Police? Because North Dakota Guard is very limited, and that's what I'm looking at right now. I think both of those would be pretty cool. If you like explosives and you want to see some really cool things, I think from there, I don't know anything about 15 Delta. I've said that before, like in this live stream. But Avenger Missile Defense Crew. So the Avenger Missile, I believe that's a certain missile system. And you will probably get to see it fired several times. So that's going to be a cool thing for you to look at. And whenever you see like a rocket going off or a tank or something, it's freaking cool. So those experiences will be really cool. And then if you want to be an MP, that is a pretty cool job. It just depends on like if you want to have that cop role. So an MP is military police. That's what it is. You're going to be, honestly, depending on which military police job you're going to have, you might just be checking IDs at the gate or doing other things, patrolling around, you know, the base in a cop car. You know, it just depends on what you want to be. Really, 31 Bravos or MPs. If you want to be a cop after the military, then you should definitely go MP. Do you prefer the commissary over the grocery store? The commissary is the grocery store on a base. So they're the same thing. It's like a food line, if you guys know what a food line is. Thank you for your service. Thank you, Ace's Life. I appreciate it. Gosh, I cannot believe Luke's freaking super chats are still up there. Oh, this is crazy. Good way to get into civilian life, please. Yeah. Thank you for your videos. They are always helpful. I wish I could watch this whole video, but my finals start tomorrow. Yeah, my finals start tomorrow too. So I understand your pain. And yeah, I mean, I've been going for an hour and a half. This has been one of the longer ones. How much money will you get out of boot camp? It depends on your rank, but not that much. It's only going to be like a couple $1,000s. So the money that you're going to accumulate through basic training, depending on your rank, is going to be somewhere in the ballpark of, I would say, $2,500 to $3,000, maybe. I don't remember what mine was. I actually had to pay my rent. So whenever I left for basic training, I had to pay that 1 month's rent whenever I left. So my first check, I sent all of that, and that was just to my rent. So I really don't remember how much I got or saved or whatever. No, I mean, is the commissary cheaper than a regular grocery store? I'm not sure. I've never really compared the prices. But things on base aren't that bad. You know, there's not going to be taxes when you buy a thing at a, you know, PX, or I believe the commissary as well. There's no taxes, so technically that's cheaper. So that's really nice. That's one cool thing. Like if you go to like the PX, let's say you buy something, there's not going to be taxes. Well, my base pay was $999 a month. Well, you were in a little while ago, man, so that might be a little bit different. Can I get a P.O. box? Yes. I'm going to the post. All right, so I'm mailing off Faith's letter tomorrow morning before I go to work, and I'm going to ask them about the P.O. box there, as long as I have time in the morning. So I do plan on getting a P.O. box, so make sure you guys kind of stay tuned on the channel. I'll probably mention that at the beginning of a video. I want to get a P.O. box because I think it'll be pretty cool. I mentioned some things that you guys could like send me some stuff. I don't want you guys to like freaking go crazy with this or whatever. But if you want to send me something, if you want to send me a letter or whatever, I think that's cool. Somebody said in the comments of my video that I did, that vlog that I did, which you guys should watch the vlog. You know, I work really hard on these vlogs, and there was a lot of updates in that video. But yeah, so somebody said that, you know, I actually think it would be a pretty cool idea that, you know, if you guys leave to go to basic training, because a lot of you guys are going to basic training, and then you write a letter, you could send it to me to my P.O. box, and if you want, I could like make a video, depending on how many I get, of people, you know, of their letters, if you want to be featured on a vlog or something at some point. Because once I'm done with school, I plan on doing a little bit more vlogs, and then yeah, I can have like a little series where you guys write to me and I could read it, or you obviously, and I will never read what you write to me unless you specifically say in the letter that I can share it. You know, that's you know, I just want to be respectful for you guys. Matt, can you play games on some live stream but not too much of an addict? Me personally, yeah, I'm not addicted to video games and stuff anymore. I definitely was addicted to Call of Duty at some point, and then I had to make a conscious decision to say, no, if I'm going to be productive in life, I can't play video games anymore. And that's the decision I've made, and that's the reason why I don't play games anymore. So yeah, so Luke, hey Matt, can we talk about the possibility of doing a fan meetup or even a test group for a fan meetup? Yeah, so we're doing a meetup, Crazy Week Ahead. The title of that, oh, I didn't even mention that. Crazy Week Ahead. I mentioned it on Twitter. Twitter's right here. But yeah, so this week I've got my officer commissioning ceremony. I've got my college graduation little ceremony thing. My 25th birthday is this Saturday, I believe. It's May 12th. My birthday is May 12th. Yeah, so this Saturday, May 12th, is my 25th birthday. So save all your happy birthdays for then. And then I'm planning on doing a fan meetup at my commissioning ceremony. I'm uploading a video tomorrow because obviously, Luke, if you didn't see my vlog that I posted, I mentioned this in the vlog, but tomorrow I'm posting the hot sauce video. I'm posting the world's hottest hot sauce video that we ate yesterday, and then I'm also going to post in the afternoon my video talking about the meetup. So I am doing a meetup this Friday at my commissioning ceremony, and all the details will be in the video tomorrow. It's going to be a pretty short video. It's like 4 or 5 minutes or something like that. I don't know. And I will talk about it in there. So yes, I thought it'd be a good scenario, a good time. So Anne, if Anne is still in here, she's really the one that gave me this idea, because she said she wanted to come and meet me at my commissioning ceremony. And so I was like, you know, that might be a good time for me to do like a meetup, because you know, it's like a step in my life. It's kind of a step in the channel because I'm switching over. You know, when I first started this YouTube channel, like before, you know, I had just contracted as a cadet. So I was like enlisted, just contracted as a cadet. Then I'm going through, and now I'm going to be an officer in freaking a week. So that's crazy. So yeah, so Anne is the one that, you know, she started it. She started this meetup thing. You know, early she gave me the idea because she said she was going to come. So I was like, you know what? That would be a really cool thing. So if anybody's in the Charlotte, North Carolina area, check out the video tomorrow. Matt, does the military have anything against social disabilities? I only have trouble with sarcasm and knowing if someone's being genuine, and it makes me amazing at working with machines. No, I think you're going to be fine. I think you're going to be fine. Although the sarcasm thing, people are going to, you know, people are sarcastic in the military a lot, and they might poke fun or whatever, but I mean, I think you're going to be fine. Hoping a fan meetup is in the future. Yeah, like I said, Joey, May 11th. You guys, if you want to show up, the address and everything will be in that video, but you could show up around about 10:30. The commissioning ceremony starts at 9, and I'm assuming it should last about an hour and a half to 2 hours. Okay, thanks. Like I said, I've gone a while. Just got back to the channel. It's okay, man. And I'll be there. Thanks for a shout out. For a hint about your gift, see Twitter. Oh, see Twitter. How do you become a leader in boot camp? Get a 300 on your PT score. Get really good PT score. Be a natural leader. So if you want to be a leader, it probably means that you're a little bit more inclined to be a leader. So yeah. Oh, that is my gift. That's the hint. This is your gift. It comes with a story. Oh, hint. This is your gift. It comes with a story. I want to hear this story, and I want to hear this story. Oh, and Kyle Gott replied to me. I didn't even see that. He replied to me a little while ago. That was right after I started the stream. So shout out to Kyle Gott in this video, if he's watching this right now. I don't think he is, but anyways, shout out to him. God dang, I love to meet you, Matt. You're my favorite YouTuber. I'd say that is the least creepy way. I'd say that in the least creepy way. Yeah, man, I would love to meet you guys. I've ran into some people on base before when I've gone to like Fort Jackson, and I thought it was a lot of fun. It was really, like, you got to understand from my perspective, like, I know some of you guys might think it's pretty cool to meet me, but when you look at it from my perspective on somebody who's just been making videos to try and help you guys out, it's really cool for me that it'll be really cool for me to actually meet you guys, like meet the people that I'm talking to right now, because right now it's like a 1.5 way conversation. So I'm talking to you guys, like I'm trying to talk to you. So Soldier Boy, I'm talking to you right now. It's really cool. Like I'm talking to you, you guys are replying back in the live streams. That's one of the reasons why I like live streams so much. And then actually meeting you guys, I think it'd be really cool. It's like putting a face with everything. I think that's just awesome. Do you meet with a recruiter to join ROTC? No. You meet with your, there's like a recruiter, what do you call him? He's like the head of recruiting or something for ROTC, and you will meet with that guy, and you will talk with him about ROTC. You can just enroll in the class, and you don't have to talk to anybody. So you can just enroll into ROTC. You don't have to talk to anybody. But in order to contract, in order to be an officer, you will have to talk to like the PMS and the professor of military science is what that stands for, and the like head of recruiting for your school or whatever. Thanks for liking my comment on YouTube and Instagram. Yeah, thank you for commenting on YouTube and Instagram. Going to UNCC next year. Going to sign up for ROTC. That is awesome. I think UNCC is a good program. Our current PMS is leaving. Luke, what the freak, man? Our current PMS is leaving, so he is definitely, he's like one of the best officers ever. He's definitely extremely strict. Like he's pretty intimidating, but he's strict and intimidating. But he is an amazing officer. So yeah. Anyways, that's what I'm gonna say about that. But Luke, gotta hit the road, Matt. It was awesome to catch your live stream. I doubt I'll make it to your ceremony, sadly, but please let me know if more meetups are going to be happening. Yeah, I mean, especially depending on how many people show up. So the more people show up at the meetup, the more likely I will be to do it again in the near future, if you know what I mean. Like, it's summertime, so that's something that's cool. I also hope you like the equipment. Thank you, Luke. You're ridiculous. You're ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, if, you know, I'm just really curious how this is going to go from my perspective. Sorry, Matt, gotta go. Thanks for all the tips. Yeah, I think I'm going to be going soon, too. It's been an hour and 40 minutes. I did this for a long time, and I have some work to do. Gosh, I forgot about that. It's 10 o'clock. It is 10:11 right now. Like, guys. So, before I go, because it seems like everybody's going, don't forget to check out the video tomorrow morning where we eat this hot sauce. 3.5 million Scoville units. For comparison, I think a jalapeno was like a couple thousand, like 8,000, Scoville units or something. This is 3.5 million. A habanero pepper, I think, is 400,000. And then yeah. So I mean, it was super hot. We just put like, you can watch it. We didn't like do a whole spoonful of this. But did I cry? Yes, I did cry. That's a little thing. Yeah, I mean, I literally did. Like, you guys watch the video tomorrow, I literally did cry. Like, tears were falling down my eyes in the video. So that'll be fun. Anyways, I'd love to meet you, man. Would be awesome. How you feeling about the commissioning soon? Pumped? Yeah, man. I am super pumped about my commissioning ceremony. It has been a long time coming. Ever since I joined the military, I knew that I wanted to be an officer. Like, I joined enlisted knowing that I was going to use that experience and everything to then do ROTC and then become an officer. Like, that was the plan from the get-go, to be an officer. And now that it's literally 5 days away is really mind-blowing for me. Can you describe what you actually do in 25 Bravo? I'm going to MEPS on Thursday and want to make sure I'm 100% 25 Bravo. Watch my video on 25 Bravo. I've talked about that and there, what the ART and stuff is like. It's an older video, so it might not be as good of quality and stuff, but 25 Bravo is basically networking related. So you're going to learn a little bit about computer engineering stuff. You're going to learn a little bit about software, like the Windows operating system. You're going to learn some of that. You're going to learn some security stuff. And 25 Bravo pretty much sets up the network, right? So you're going to be doing some stuff on switches and routers. You're going to be doing things on SIPR and NIPR networks, which are private and open networks. And so, like, let's say you go out to a place, the different 25 series jobs are going to have different technologies. And the 25 Bravo's job technically is to connect everybody and get everybody to communicate. So 25 Bravo is a pretty essential job. So that's what I'm going to say there. I've talked about before. Good luck in your commission ceremony. Good luck to everyone joining the military. Redneck, thank you so much. And yeah, good luck to everybody joining. I never would have imagined that I was going to be this spot. But anyways, I'm almost done. To bulk up, more reps, less weight, or less reps, more weight. Both. Literally both. Do switch them out. Yeah, that's it. 65 people left. About half the people have left because I've been saying I was going to leave. Every time I say I'm going to leave, literally everybody goes. How do you donate? Don't donate now because I'm about to go. You're going to make me feel bad. But you do hit the super chat button. But I'm going to be out of here, and you're still here. You're the boss. But yeah, that's it. So this was fun. This was fun. An hour and 45 minutes. About to hit the button to cancel off of this live stream. So, you know, can't wait to meet you, Matt. Can't wait to meet you too. Yep. Later, Papa Ward. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Soldier Boy. That's it for this video. 3, 2, 1.